are.
Well, I'll just put this on the bed.
You are too good to me, Cece.
Impossible. It's nice to have a man around the house from time to time.
It's something a woman could get used to.
A big house for a woman to be living in alone.
Well, the big part's not so bad, but it does get lonely sometimes.
You'll never be lonely again, because you got me. And all you have to do is tell me we have a future together, and I'll be very happy.
Looking for the way back to Boratunga?
I know, but I can find it in my sleep.
Yeah.
Huh? Boratunga was great, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Although I still hear those native drums beating inside my head.
Yeah, you and me both. You know, I think Boratunga is always going to be a special place for us. It's where we're able to renew our friendship and make it stronger than we ever have.
So, what's up with all these maps here?
Oh, it's just my chumash dig. I'm charting everything out here.
Well, I better see some positive results, Capwell, because Project Dig here has buried my pampered life on the islands.
Well, I'm convinced we can keep our relationship going pretty much anywhere. That's why I don't think we should stop it. I think we should keep it going.
Ted, what exactly do you mean by that?
Julia.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I think that McCabe found Cruz.
Oh, my God.
Be seated.
If they bring him here, he's going to have to testify. Otherwise, they're going to put me on the stand. Either way, it's going to be very damaging for B J. So just be careful how you handle McCabe, okay?
Good afternoon, Mr. McCabe.
Good afternoon.
For the record, would you state your full name and spell it, please?
Connor McCabe, C-O-N-N-O-R-M-C-C-A-B-E.
And what is your occupation?
I'm an agent with the National Investigations Bureau.
Where are you based?
Sacramento, California.
Could you tell us what current assignment you're on with the NIB?
Chief investigator into the shooting death of Florida police officer Frank Goodman.
When did you begin the investigation?
August 10th of this year.
Could you briefly tell us what your initial findings were when you first arrived?
Please, McCabe, don't mention Cruz.
I think there's definitely a future for us, Cece. Never known a man like you, you know. So attentive and caring. I like being with you.
Good. I like being with you, too.
Well, then.
Well, then. Well, then, why don't we go out and celebrate, have dinner, drink to the future, hmm?
I would love that.
Good. This afternoon, though, I've got to go over to B J Walker's trial because it starts today.
Oh.
You gonna be going?
Oh, no. I've got 3 reporters covering it. I don't need to be there.
I gotta be there. Gonna be rough on Kelly. I gotta give her some moral support.
You know, I admire that about you. You're always reaching out to help your children.
Well, I don't know what you're saying, but I really don't think I help enough. Or give enough, especially to Ted.
How can you say that? I mean, look at what you're doing for him now with this archaeological...
Oh, that got him back to town. Thanks to you, got him back to town. But I'm talking about giving emotionally. That's what I'm talking about. I don't give enough to him. And he's starting to show it to me. Jumps into this relationship with Lilly just to hurt me. And believe it or not, that's what he's doing. It's working.
Look, Cece, once he gets started on this excavation project, he won't even have time to think about Lilly, so you stop worrying about it, and please, will you stop being so hard on yourself? Ted is a big boy now. He has to take some responsibility, too.
How come you know exactly the right things to say all the time? See you at 7.
That's perfect. That'll give me enough time to unpack, take a nap, bubble bath, get into something special.
You can wear overalls and a sweatshirt. You look great.
Maybe I will.
On second thought, put on something sexy.
Well, I just think we should keep our relationship going like we discussed on the island.
You scared me for a minute. There, I thought you were getting the hots for me or something.
No, but I want it to look like that because I love what it does to Angela and my father.
Well, then it's settled. The love affair continues in Santa Barbara. And you know what? This'll work pretty well for me, too. Come here, you. Ugh, I can't wait for Рэйфа and Lisa to see us like this. Kiss me, darling, kiss me.
The early investigation pointed to Sawyer Walker. Gunpowder residue was found on his shirt. I ordered a second autopsy report. I was there when the results came in.
And what did the autopsy show?
That Frank Goodman had been shot by his own gun, a 9mm at close range.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer this autopsy report as prosecution exhibit number 1 for identification.
So ordered. Mark it Exhibit 1. Proceed.
Then I received a written confession for the murder from Santa Barbara police officer Cruz Castillo. But given his sterling record on the force, it just didn't make sense to me.
Your Honor, I hold in my hand a 9mm pistol. I'd like to have it marked as prosecution exhibit number 2 for identification.
All right.
Examination of the murder weapon showed a soap with traces of pignol. We traced it to one place, a desert motel near the mesa where Frank Goodman was killed. The same motel that B.J. Walker stayed in that night.
And so this water bill proves that her story about sitting in the shower for 2 hours was untrue. Is that correct?
That's correct. Neither the usage or the amount of the bill reflected anything significant. The button I found came from the dress she wore that night. It had been burned in a fireplace in an attempt to destroy the evidence.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Your witness.
A small, charred button once used as a hinge for a dress is now the main hinge of your investigation. I'm intrigued, Agent Maccabe. How does B.J. Walker's being in a motel in the desert connect her to Frank Goodman's death?
It puts her within a mile radius of Frank Goodman's murder.
Your Honor, I would like the word murder stricken from the record.
It is so stricken the jury shall disregard. You will decide if, in fact, a murder has been committed. Proceed.
Thank you. So what you meant to say was that it was a mile from where Frank Goodman was shot to death.
B.J. Walker had plenty of time to leave the motel, find Officer Goodman, shoot him, and return back to that motel.
What would you consider plenty of time?
Well, I timed it with one of our police officers. We were able to go from the motel to the site of the killing, assimilate the time it took to shoot Officer Goodman, and back to the same motel in less than 30 minutes.
Bravo, Agent Maccabe. It's good to see the police department is in such fine shape. Did anyone time B.J. Walker?
No.
The 30 minutes was based on knowing exactly which direction to run, isn't that true?
That's true.
What time of day or night was your little running test conducted?
It's conducted during the day.
In the day. It's a big desert out there. How would B.J. Walker know exactly which direction to run, and especially at night when the killing occurred?
She could have known which way to go by the shots that Frank Goodman fired. The 3 shots. She could have heard the shots.
Oh, really, Agent McKay? A trained ear might be able to follow those shots. But in a desert, in a wide open space, I mean, wouldn't the echo of the shots come from all different directions?
It's possible. But she still could have run in the general direction. Reese and Jody Walker were in a bungalow with B.J. When they left to find Frank, B.J. followed them.
Reese and Jody Walker drove off in a car. B.J. was on foot.
She was on foot, but it was only a mile. It could have taken 45
Could have,
minutes.
possibly, maybe, perhaps, speculation. This is all speculation. I'm going to ask you one more time. Can you directly connect B.J. Walker's being in a motel with the actual killing of Frank Goodman? Yes or no?
No, but we have conclusive...
Thank you. Moving on.
Julia is a very smart cookie, isn't she?
Yeah, but don't underestimate Maccabe.
I'd like to go back a brief moment to the water bill. Doesn't it indicate at best that B.J. Walker didn't shower for as long as she thought she had?
It indicates that she lied. She showered for 30 minutes. There's still a discrepancy of 2 hours, and she was positive about the time.
Wouldn't the trauma and the shock of being kidnapped at gunpoint make it seem like a half hour could turn into 2 hours?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
The soap residue found on the gun was found to contain pinon. What is pinon, Agent McCabe?
It's pine.
Well, aren't there a lot of soaps with a nice pine scent to them?
No, this one was made exclusively for that motel.
Okay. You mentioned that she washed the gun with pinon soap. Is that right?
That's correct.
Where did you find the gun?
Trash bin behind the diner?
Did you find it personally?
No, an officer of mine did.
Were there other trash particles found on the gun?
Well, yes, there was gravy, mustard, pie filling, you know, things like that.
Sounds like there was a whole meal on that gun. Agent McCabe, was the entire trash bin examined?
No.
So, the gun could have been on top of layers of bars of pinon soap or a rag with pinon soap residue on it. Isn't that true?
That's speculation, because they don't use pinon soap at this diner.
Answer the question, Agent McCabe. Isn't it possible that some form of pinon soap could have found its way into the trash container?
Yes, it's possible.
Thank you. Now I'd like to discuss the famous charred button.
No, don't let me stop you. Go ahead, hug, kiss, do whatever you were doing. I'll be on my way.
Mom, I'm telling you, there's nothing going on here.
Right. Of course not. What would be going on?
I'll get there.
I can't tell you what a beautiful sight it is to come in here and see my daughter in the arms of Ted Capwell.
No, Mom, I swear.
I'm glad you've finally come to your senses. There are Capwells and there are men. If you can nab yourself a Capwell man, I say go for it. Unless it's Cece.
Listen to me. I'm telling you, there's really nothing. Ted, you don't have to do that. Hi, Angela.
Sorry for the interruption. Is Cece around?
No, he's at the courthouse.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'd like to have a word with Ted alone, if you don't mind.
How do you know this button, Prosecution Exhibit 4, was found on BJ's dress?
She admitted it.
Did she, or did she say it was similar to one that she had on a dress she used to own?
Well, I showed it to her. She said she didn't need it because she didn't wear the dress anymore.
Didn't you show this button to her outdoors in the dark of night?
As I recall.
She thought she recognized a button in the dark that was similar to one that she had on a dress that she used to own. What does this prove, Agent McCabe?
Proves you like courtroom semantics.
Your Honor.
That button came from the dress that B.J. Walker wore that night. I found the charred fabric and that button on the beach where those ashes had been scattered in an attempt to destroy the evidence.
Sounds like a lot of whistling in the dark. Unless you actually witnessed the burning of the dress, I suggest that these scattered ashes symbolize nothing more than the burial of your dead testimony. I have no more...
Objection, Your Honor.
Counsel, you are out of line. I will not tolerate sarcasm in my courtroom.
My sincere apologies to the court, Your Honor.
Apology accepted. Mr. Arnold, any redirect?
It's just a couple of questions.
Proceed.
Do you know who burned the clothing, Agent McCabe?
Yes, I do. I didn't see the actual burning of the dress, but I did see the ashes being scraped out of the fireplace into an envelope, and I witnessed them being scattered on the beach.
Can you name the person who got rid of the ashes?
Her name was Kelly Capwell.
Well, we're just going to have to hire more seamstresses. The Gina Jeans mail order catalog is selling like crazy. Your safe sex angle was a classic, Lily. You should be looking at this. Get your head into the business. We're going to be making the Fortune 500 faster than any mother and daughter team in history.
I was, you know, a little surprised to see this when I was on the island. It's my first taste of notoriety.
Lily, forget about Rafe. You've outgrown him. Think about it this way. In one hip pocket, you've got half of Gina Jeans. In the other hip pocket, you've got Ted Capwell. Honey, you got it all.
Mom, I'm gonna tell you this one more time. Ted and I made up this whole romantic thing while we were on Boratunga. It's not real. And call it immature, but we're out to bug a couple of people.
So, none of it's true?
Well, what's true is that Ted and I have become best friends. Is that so bad?
I guess not. I mean, he's always been respectful of me, which is more than I can say for most of the Capwells.
Yeah, tell me about it. CC shows up on the island, treats me like dirt. He called me a gold digger. Your mother's daughter, he said.
What was Cece doing there anyway?
Ah, he was there to run Ted's life as usual. Anджела was with him. Рэйфа is now working for Anджела.
I know. He called me, told me. Personally, I think it's best.
I guess. Anyway, there he is. The last person I needed to see in this entire world. And that's why Ted and I came up with this romantic scam. Gripes the hell out of all of them.
I'm not sure it makes a whole lot of sense, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope it all works out for the best.
Mom, Ted and I are friends. Forget about it. We could never be lovers.
Lily, never say never. Stranger things have happened. I mean, it's much easier to turn a friendship into love than it is love into friendship, that's for sure.
I see you got the package I left for you in Boratunga. I thought you might want it back.
You didn't come here to talk about the icon, and don't tell me you didn't know my father was at the courthouse either. What are you here for? What?
Well, of course I did. So I guess that makes me as obvious as you are.
What does that mean?
Oh, come on. Do you think I really believe in this childish prank of yours?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sure you do. I'll play along. I had a talk with your father earlier, and there's something I'd like to tell you, Ted. He loves you very much. And he thinks you're only trying to hurt him with this farce of a relationship you've got going with Lily. Don't argue with me. Please, just listen. Don't hurt him anymore, Ted. Look, I think CC knows that he hasn't always done what's best for you, but I believe his intentions have always been good. And his love for all his children is immeasurable. Of course, it's only my impression.
Yeah, that's exactly the impression he wants you to have, Mr. Sensitive. You don't understand, because he wants to get his hands all over you, and that's exactly what it looks like is happening, all right? If you want my advice, you should head for the door while there's still time.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I care enough about him to keep seeing him. In fact, the more I see of your father, the more I respect him.
Oh, is that right? Is that... You respect him?
Yes.
You're doing this to get back at me, aren't you?
Look, I don't have the time or the inclination to be that petty. Why don't you drop this charade of yours and get on with your life? Because I'm getting on with mine.
Capwell, I'm going to work backwards here, if I may. On Thursday night, September 17th, 1992, did you take an envelope filled with ashes and scatter those ashes on the beach?
Yes, I did.
Were those ashes the remains of a dress?
Yes?
Did the dress have a floral print with a button distinguished by a rose design?
Yes?
Did the dress belong to B.J. Walker?
Yes, it did.
Tell the court where the dress was burned.
In my living room, in my house, obviously in the fireplace.
When did this occur?
I don't remember exactly when. I believe it was sometime in early September. As I recall, it was a Friday afternoon.
Did you burn the dress, Miss Kaplan?
No, I did not.
Did you witness the burning of the dress?
Answer the question, Miss Capwell.
Yes, I did.
Did Cruz Castillo burn the dress? Did Cruz Castillo burn the dress? Answer the question.
Yes.
Why?
Miss Capwell.
Come on, Miss Capwell. Must be some reason why he would start a fire with that dress on a perfectly beautiful summer evening. Was there something incriminating on it?
Yes.
What?
Miss Capwell.
Gunpowder residue.
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike the witness response to gunpowder residue.
Overruled.
Your Honor, Kelly Capwell is no expert on gunpowder. This is speculation.
Your Honor, counsel will sit down and I'll explain to her where she got the information about the gunpowder residue.
There had better be a forensic chemist.
Cruz Castillo is a police officer. I'd say that qualifies him as an expert. He could recognize gunpowder residue in his sleep.
Counselor, you are overruled. Witness response stays on the record. Mr. Arnold, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So is it fair to say, Miss Capwell, that Cruz Castillo felt that B.J. Walker had shot Officer Frank Goodman because he found powder residue on the dress she was wearing that night? So he burned the dress, he made a phony confession, and he left the country to protect her.
Your Honor, I object.
Sustained.
In other words, he committed a crime. He obstructed justice.
Cruz is an honest man, and he's an excellent police officer. He did what he felt he had to do to protect someone that he cares very deeply for.
See, this is something I don't understand. Why would Castillo cover for this girl? Someone who, at best, is the daughter of two of his close friends. Why the incredible sacrifice?
Cruz protected BJ because he's a very loyal friend. The Walkers mean a great deal to him. They're actually an extended family to him. And he knew that they'd been torn apart lately. He knew that BJ had been molested for half of her life.
Move to strike the witness's last comment, Your Honor. Just answer the question as put to you, Miss Capwell.
Objection. The witness should be allowed to answer the question. He cut her off.
Both counsels approach the bench.
Your Honor, she was headed in a direction that's not pertinent to this case.
Who are you to decide what's pertinent or not?
Molestation has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
What are you trying to hide, Ben?
Knock it off, both of you. Counselor, you are overruled. Sit down. Miss Capwell, do not give us explanations. Answer as pertinent.
Well, I believe that I did answer as pertinent.
Answer as instructed, then, Miss Capwell. Please, let's proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I'm still having a little trouble here, Miss Capwell. Why would Cruz Castillo, this textbook police officer with his whole life, his reputation at stake, why would he obstruct justice? Take a chance on throwing it all away to cover for a girl who's accused of murder.
How am I supposed to speak for Cruz? I'm not a mind reader. How do I know what he's thinking?
Wasn't Cruz Castillo conducting a private investigation of his own against B.J. Walker?
Yes.
And maybe that investigation led him to believe that B.J. Walker actually killed Frank Goodman that night by shooting him on the mesa in the desert?
I object, Your Honor. Kelly Capwell cannot testify to Cruz Castillo's thoughts.
It's all right, I won't press the point. Thank you. No further questions.
You're a witness.
To your knowledge, did B.J. Walker indicate to Cruz that he was right in his assumption that she'd killed him?
No, she did not.
Did she ever ask you or Cruz to burn her clothing?
No, absolutely not.
Did she ever tell you that she killed Frank Goodman?
No.
Did she ever indicate to you that she had killed Frank Goodman?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
The witness may step down. call your next witness?
State would like to call Warren Lockridge.
Objection. This was not discussed at pretrial. Warren Lockridge's name is not on the witness list.
We will take a short recess. Would both counsels please approach the bench?
You did what you had to do. You told the truth, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Get on with my life? Get on with my life. What the hell do you call this? What is this? I am getting on with my life. I am about to prove that this artifact is part of a piece of land that has historical significance. I'm going to uncover a past civilization. What are you going to do?
That's great. All of that is great. I'm talking about getting on with your life as far as relationships are concerned.
Okay. So we're back to Lilly now. All right. Well, you're wrong about me and Lilly. You said that we were a farce, I think, right? Well, you're wrong, because I care deeply for Lilly.
Well, I'm sorry, Ted, but I'm not convinced. I think you should drop this Lilly charade and immerse yourself in Chumash discoveries instead.
So you think that my relationship with Lily's a farce? I guess I'm just gonna have to validate it.
How?
You'll see.
Mr. Arnold, you know procedure. You have to give 24 hours notice prior to introducing a new witness that was not on your original witness list.
I did, Your Honor. I filed this with your court 36 hours ago, signed by your clerk.
Why wasn't I given a copy?
I sent one to your office.
Aren't there any other witnesses you could call?
No, sir. I want Warren Lockridge as my next witness. I want to prove right up front that B. J. Walker has a side to her nature that's violent and capable of pulling the trigger on a man.
This is wrong. I haven't been given sufficient time.
Take a break. I'll have a ruling when court resumes.
Don't worry about it. I will not have to testify. Julia put a stop to it.
Yeah, well, what if she doesn't? What if he asks her about the stabbing?
Be seated. I have decided to trust that Mr. Arnold made an honest effort to see that the updated witness list made its way to the defense counsel's office and that it was misplaced. If, however, I discover it was misplaced deliberately, Mr. Arnold, I will nail you to the wall. I will allow the prosecution to call Warren Lockridge to the stand.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I am outraged by this decision.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Counselor. If you let me finish. I must consider both sides. It's been a strenuous day, and it's late. We're going to adjourn until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, which should give the defense sufficient time to prepare. At which time, the next witness for the prosecution will be Warren Lockridge. Court is adjourned.
McCabe, I want to talk to you.
He's gonna make you tell that I stabbed you.
No, I will not do it. I will not get up and testify against you.
Hi. Got a minute?
Sure. What happened? I thought you were going to see Ted.
I am. I was going to, but you said something earlier that's kind of stuck in my mind at the office, and I want to talk to you about it. Is now a bad time?
No. Of course not. Come on, sit down. Lily.
What?
What pearl of wisdom could have fallen from my mouth that needs clarification?
Well, you said earlier that it's easier to turn friendship into love than love into friendship. Do you really think that's true?
I know it is.
Why? Because of how you and Lionel turned out?
Well, that's part of it. But more than that, it's just a lesson I've learned in my life. If I need any proof of it, I just look at my relationship with David Raymond. I mean, he and I had no foundation to build on. The reasons we were together was because we were attracted and because we had needs and there was chemistry. But when there was a problem, everything fell apart.
Well, I wouldn't knock chemistry, Mom.
Oh, but it'll only take you so far. And if there's no underlying foundation of friendship and trust, I think you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment.
Do you think Rafe and I are just about this chemistry thing?
You want the truth? Yes. I think Rafe is very attractive, and I know that you find him sexy, but you don't really know each other. And it's not for lack of desire, you just never had the chance because of circumstances. So I think you should be more open about your relationship with Ted. I mean, look, you guys are friends. You're thick as thieves, and I know you're attracted to him on some level.
I was attracted to him on some level, Mom. I don't even know if I'd even call it that. It was more like some silly schoolgirl crush.
Well, whatever it was the basis of the friendship that you have with Ted now, and it's pretty terrific.
You know, all this looks good on paper, Mom. But what do I do about the fact that in spite of everything that's happened, it's still Rafe for me?
Ted, I think you should know your father and I are going to be seeing a lot of each other. We've become closer. In fact, CC said earlier that he wants us to have some kind of a future together.
Good, good, terrific. Very happy for you.
Thank you. Who knows what it might lead to?
Yeah, who knows? You know, maybe you'll end up just as happy as Lilly and myself. You know, I think I owe my father a thank you. Because anybody that he would want is not the kind of woman that I would want.
What are you doing here?
You can't stop it. How can you stop it?
I don't know, but nothing in the world is going to make me get up on that stand and testify against you.
Well, you're gonna have to, and you'll be under oath. Mackabe must know that the scissors have your blood type on the blades and my fingerprints on the handle. You can't deny that I stabbed you.
You did what I wanted, and I did what you wanted. Now, are you going to let Cruz go?
I need to get in touch with our men in Mexico. Tell them to lose Cruz.
Thank you.
It's quite a sacrifice you made in there, losing the man you love for less damaging testimony for B Jay.
I didn't want the paternity to come out. And I had to do whatever I could to protect that. I just hope that my testimony wasn't too damaging.
Kelly, this isn't easy on me. Whatsoever.
I thought you were going to take a nap in a bubble bath.
I was. But there were some things I needed to look into regarding the Renew LA project, so I stopped by to pick up some paperwork.
I don't think I believe you. I don't think you could wait till dinner to see me.
So how did things go at the trial?
Ben Arnold was very tough on Kelly. She had a rough time on the stand.
Is she okay?
Yes. I don't think she has any more to worry about. You know why? Because she told the truth. You gonna get yourself all dolled up or what?
You're right, I really should get going.
Come on, walk it down to the car.
Thank you, that's lovely.
Son?
Hi. Just past the happy couple. They weren't too happy to see me, though. Ed? Not so good, huh?
I can't let this happen to me. I'm gonna go have it out with her once and for all. All right? Now, Lily, if I am not back in 1 hour, come and find me, okay?
All right.
How dare you side with
Watch
someone on this?
yourself,
Okay,
Julia.
your robe is off. How could you allow that testimony about the button in the burned dress? That's hearsay. It's circumstantial. It's speculative, for heaven's sake. Oh, and Cruz's possible thoughts are allowed as evidence?
I didn't see it that way.
I noticed. I had Connor destroyed on that pinion soap. And then you gave him credibility by allowing that gunpowder residue testimony from Kelly. Kelly, who doesn't know the difference between gunpowder and talcum powder. And why didn't you allow the molestation to be brought up?
Oh, that certainly was not at all pertinent to this case. My God, talk about hearsay.
And then you put Warren in to testify tomorrow morning, which will ruin BJ's credibility right from the top.
If Warren can prove that BJ has an unstable personality, and that relates directly to all the testimony we've heard so far, where's the harm in hearing it now, as opposed to later on in the trial?
If Warren was put in as a last-minute witness, he should testify last.
There is no order in which witnesses have to be called, Julia. You know that. Now, look, I have ruled. Warren is up tomorrow. That's that.
Fine. But you sided with Arnold on this, and you did it to make me look bad. I'm sure that'll make you a real front runner in this election.
Is that what this is all about? You're concerned about looking bad at the election? Julia? Oh, you're taking this far too personally.
No, I'm not taking this personally.
Yes.
Sweetheart. I love you. I do, you know. I do love you. Now that is personal. I hate the decision you made, and that is the attorney talking to the judge. Now, you put that in your pipe and smoke it. You owe me one, Capwell.
Excuse me. Hi, Dolly.
Howdy, Mr. McCabe.
How are you?
Hi, Kelly.
How are you, Dolly?
Good.
Listen, I was going to duck into the restaurant to get a bite to eat. Can I buy you a sandwich?
Well, gosh, I don't know.
Well, come on. I wouldn't want you driving all the way home on an empty stomach. Look, if I give you a hard time, you can always call the cops.
Oh, you devil. You are a cop.
Ooh. Well, listen, I got a quick phone call to make, but I'll meet you both out front.
Well, how nice of him to offer that.
Uh-huh. Just be careful, Dolly. He doesn't do anything without an ulterior motive.
Oh, well. He's too cute to turn down. I'll see you later, Kelly.
I can't go on the stand. I can't.
I know what I want to do.
It's over, Warren.
No, it's not.
BJ, will you marry me?
On today's Donahue, we'll take a look at the politically charged atmosphere just a few days before the election. For the first time in history, we have a three-man race that looks more uncertain as the big day draws closer. The analysts are stumped, and Clinton's predicted landslide victory seems unsure. Will George Bush win another 4 years? An election countdown today at 3 on Donahue.